Okay, welcome back to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We've got an incredible guest here, Skylar, for the $1 million question. Thanks, Regis. I'm super happy to be here. Skylar, that question is going to be, when working out, what is the best equipment to use? Is it A, the shake weight, B, the waist trimmer sweat belt, C, dumbbells, or D, kettlebells for $1 million? Oh man. You know what? I think for this one I'm gonna phone a friend. Okay, who would you like to call? I will call my fat loss coach, Coach Skylar. Hey, what's up? My name is Skylar Deem. I'm the founder of Reach Fat Loss and Fitness, where our goal is to... Hello? Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, easy answer. As I was saying, I'm the founder of Reach Fat Loss and Fitness, where our goal is to help you lose weight and keep it off and do it without all the terrible stuff. The terrible dieting, counting calories, weighing your food, without eating 5-6 times a day, and definitely without running. What we're going to talk about in this video, as well as every other video that I put out, has helped clients of mine lose weight and keep it off, build muscle, feel incredible. And the goal here is to help you do the same. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you tap that subscribe button. We are putting out new videos every single week to help get you in the best shape of your life. So what's better, the dumbbell or the kettlebell? Okay, by now you guys should know that you can't ask a generic question like this. Better is in the eye of the beholder, right? Better is a word that has different meanings to different people. So better for what, right? Better for looking bald, like Joe Rogan with headphones? Definitely the kettlebell. Better for doing a weird balancing act? Probably the dumbbell. In all seriousness though, let's go over the difference between these two pieces of equipment. So I've got 5 different things that we can look at when comparing these two. We've got ergonomics, we've got weight distribution, we've got muscle activation, we've got stabilizer activation, and we've got cardio. So let's start with ergonomics. So there's not much to this one, right? When we look at ergonomics, we look at efficiency of the piece of equipment. Really the only difference between a kettlebell and a dumbbell is that you can grab a kettlebell with 2 hands, whereas most dumbbells you're only going to be able to use 1 hand with. And then when you look at ease of use, I'm going to give this one to the dumbbell because it's typically much easier to just grab a dumbbell and do a specific movement because of the weight distribution, whereas with kettlebells there are many technical aspects to even certain lifts like the shoulder press, right? Because the weight distribution is going to be off. That brings me into number 2, which is the weight distribution. So the kettlebell, the weight is below the handle, aka the weight is unevenly distributed. Pause, I'll come back. One here. So there's really only one way to hold a kettlebell, is you just let the weight drop down. So, I mean, now I can rest it up against my forearm, but typically the only way is you're gonna hold it like this. Any other way to hold it like this is gonna require a tremendous amount of effort and balance. So typically with these movements, we're just holding it so the kettlebell is able to hang down. And then as far as the weight distribution of a dumbbell, pretty easy. I mean, you have 2 weights on either end, so it's an even balance. You don't really have to worry about the technical side of things, and it's really not difficult of how to figure out how to do certain movements because the weight is locked in and it has a lot of flexibility with the movement. Muscle activation. Now here is an interesting one because depending on if you're training for health of the muscle, the joints, tendons, ligaments, or if you are training for strength or if you are training for size, the differences in the kettlebell and the dumbbell are actually pretty interesting. So there was a 2018 study that showed that for a seated shoulder press, the dumbbell overhead press had slightly higher anterior deltoid, which is the front of the delt, which is what we're targeting with the shoulder press. It had slightly higher EMG activation than the kettlebell. And that's really interesting because I actually see the kettlebell being a very powerful weight for the shoulder press because of how it's loaded and because of your ability to move. It's basically like the perfect movement. But again, this is muscle activation, right? And that moves us into this next category of stabilizer activation. So the way I like to think about the stabilizers is they allow the certain movement to stay stable or to stay still regardless of many different factors. So if you think about like a machine bench press where you're locked into place and you have this one range of motion, really all you're doing is you're pushing and then it's coming back. So you're moving into that one plane. If we swap out that machine for a bar, now the bar can go left, it could go right, it could go up, it could go down. We swap that bar for a dumbbell, we have the ability for the dumbbell to move 360 degrees. So there's full stabilizer activation because when you're pressing, you're avoiding the dumbbell from falling in any different direction. So you're keeping it very stable. And like I previously demonstrated, the super easy way to tell what works better here with stabilizers is just hold the kettlebell upside down. I mean, this is 30 pounds and this is insane how challenging this is even doing this right now. So I'm gonna give that stabilizer one to the kettlebell just because of the uneven weight distribution and how that affects it. And then we go into the cardio aspect.
Why cardio?
Yeah, no, don't put me down for cardio.
This one's an easier answer here. We got the kettlebell swing, we got the kettlebell snatch, we've got many other things that involve a very fluid motion that are gonna get that heart rate up. Yes, for dumbbells, you can do dumbbell snatches, you could technically do a dumbbell swing, you could do many of these other movements that get your heart rate up, but for ease of the movement, simplicity, for fluidity, the kettlebell gets this one as well. And especially too, if we think about certain ways to get your heart rate up, yeah, your grip technically could fail when you swing, but if you're looking at something like a bicep curl, your bicep is much more likely to fail before your actually forearm grip does within a swing. So I'm curious if you could leave me a comment. Do you currently train more with dumbbells or with kettlebells? I'd love to hear from you. So there you have it. Look, I don't believe that one is inherently better than the other. I think for a standardized training program, weight training with dumbbells is going to be extremely effective. However, I do see the time and place for including kettlebell training, especially when it comes to fat loss benefits, kicking up that metabolism. From a muscle building perspective, I would give that to dumbbells. From a cardio and a health perspective, honestly, I would probably give it to kettlebells. But again, that doesn't mean that one is not good for that. That doesn't mean that dumbbells aren't good for health and for fat loss. They're incredible for it. And if we were to break it down, there are probably specific movements where it doesn't matter if you use a dumbbell or kettlebell. Think something like a split squat where the weight is just holding down and gravity is just doing its thing. If you're using a 50-pound kettlebell or a 50-pound dumbbell, it's probably not going to make much of a difference. So with that being said, if you are working on losing weight, I've got two recommendations for you here. Number one, I recommend including some sort of kettlebell training in your routine for its metabolic benefits. I've got plenty of videos on this channel of specific workouts and follow-along workouts that you can do to see results. And number two, I also recommend checking the description of this video for a link to a free training that I put together. It's pretty obvious that weight loss isn't about exercise alone and that there is a diet component, and that training lays out exactly what we do with our clients to help them see pretty great results. So with that being said, thank you for watching this video. If this has helped you in any capacity, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you leave a like, and you can also check out these videos beside me for more health-based content. But with that being said, I appreciate you, and of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.